Hey everybody, it's John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope, also CEO of Bryant Group Ventures, and author of two best-selling books. I authored a book called Banking on Our Future, which is financial literacy for children, and I authored How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, Rebuilding the Path to the Middle Class. That's the book that I'm going to talk about aspect of it today. And then there's a book called Love Leadership, The New Way to Lead in a Fear-Based World. If you're signing on, I didn't announce I was going to do this. I just did it spontaneously between meetings and commitments. If you're signing on, please put your comments down below. I will respond to them in real time. For those of you who signed on before, you know that it's me. It's direct to me. It's no editing, no rehearsal, no handlers around me. It's me talking directly to you. So I will respond. Good morning, Bridget. I'll respond directly to you either in real time or post. So I'm going to talk about something really serious today. Sometimes I have fun with these videos. They're lighter than others. This time is pretty serious. I'm going to talk about the four places where wealth comes from. And I did some videos late last week. It was for everybody, but particularly my African American brothers and sisters who are in many cases so angry and frustrated, and as a result of that, distracted from your goals because people get you off your game. I want you to be focused on prosperity and aspiration, not emotional decision making. When you make a decision emotionally, you will make the wrong decision. This video is for everybody, by the way. There are more poor whites in America than poor anybody else. We're all in this mess together. If you're living in any city in America, you've got too much month at the end of your money. Can I get an amen? If you're living in America, 70% of Americans are living from paycheck to paycheck. Whether you're white, black, red, brown, or yellow, you want to see some more green. So I think that at the core of all of our problems, like I keep quoting my boy Van Jones, if you want to stop the best way to stop a bullet is a job. I'm quoting the right way. The best way to stop a bullet is a job. So we keep arguing about stupid stuff and getting distracted, and that's why I did the pieces at the end of last week that really got a lot of energy, got some people a little emotional. You'll see some of the comments that they left. But I keep asking people, ask them a couple questions. One, are you any better off after you made that angry rant that you were before? No, you're still broke. Still don't have any money. Still can't pay child support. Still, hate your job or whatever. Still hate your life. So let's start having a real conversation about real stuff and get and put the dumb stuff aside and start moving your life forward. Nobody cares about your drama. I hate to announce it. Nobody cares about your drama. You've got to become relevant to society. Nobody cares that you have problems. Everybody's got problems. So let's talk about solutions and opportunity and wealth. And because once you become wealthy, you can do whatever you want with it, right? You can take that wealth and reinvest it in. One dude a comment said, "I'm only interested in black wealth. Forget white wealth, and you talking about Latino wealth and Hispanic wealth and Jewish wealth. Forget those people. We need black wealth." Brother, there's no black economy. There's a global economy. When somebody comes into I'm going to explain what I said. So before somebody said that I'm not interested in black wealth, that's not what I meant. Somebody comes in your restaurant or your business, the color you want is green, as in U.S. currency, okay? What racial makeup they are is irrelevant. You want to be open to every business and everybody. And if you want to then build wealth and then take that wealth and give scholarships to young black children or young Latino children or young, poor white kids, that's up to you. It's fantastic. You want to hire young black kids to be interns. You want to create a foundation. That's what building black wealth is about. But this is not some crazy utopian dream. You gotta get serious about business. So let me tell you now. I'm at 4 minutes. I'm about to drop the mic now. Wealth comes from four places. I see Delina signing in. Reggie, how do we get back to the basics? Reggie, I'm about to try. This whole series is really a real talk series. As founder and CEO of Operation Hope, and a guy not running for any political office, right? I'm just trying to build a movement for our people, all people, to finish what Dr. King tried to begin with the Poor People's Campaign. I'm going to do a whole series on that. What Lincoln tried to do with the Freedmen's Bank. There's a big video I did on that, 100,000 plus views. Go watch the Freedmen's Bank with your family. LaShawn, Karen, Bridget, Carl, Tracy, good morning. Byron. Okay, so let me drop the mic. Wealth comes from four places. This is This is very simple now. Crime, war, government contracting. I'm actually not kidding. And I can explain that if you want me to. And poor people. Now, the cynic will jump on the last thing and say, yeah, abusing poor people. That's not what I meant. Crime comes from four places. Wealth comes from four places. Crime, criminal activity, war, government contracting, and I'm talking about it at scale. I'm talking about, big companies contracting with the government to do things, mostly. And then you have government corruption in places like the African continent, Latin America, which translates into wealth transferred from government. And the last place is poor people. Now, this is your door. I want you to focus on this last piece. And I drill down deeply on this and how the poor can save capitalism. Every big company was a small one. Every big company was a small one. So what's Ford Motor Company? What's the Ford Foundation? The Ford Foundation, which gives away hundreds of millions of dollars every year and is worth billions, came from Henry Ford. The Ford Motor Company. The Ford Motor Company comes from Henry Ford. Henry Ford was the first automotive entrepreneur from an immigrant family who created out of nothing, one man, the Ford Motor Company, and then paid his workers enough to buy the car that they were building, and voila, you had a middle class. Okay, let's put that one aside. Walmart. That was a guy named Sam Walton with a pickup truck and a storefront. He started it with a pickup truck and a storefront, and like with a high school education. Don't tell me that he had a silver spoon in his mouth, from Bentonville, Arkansas, and built the largest retailer in the world, and interestingly enough, the largest employer of African Americans in the world. Now, some people will say, "Oh, they need to pay better wages." Look. Maybe they do need to pay better wages. I don't know. I'm not doing a deal on Walmart. But here's what I have to say about that. You don't have to work for Walmart your entire life. You don't have to work for McDonald's your entire life. You don't have to force every company to pay you a living wage. Go, use that as a stepping stone. Go work there for 2 to 3 years, as I did when I was coming up, and then go get a better job, or better yet, create a job for yourself. But you can't just sit there and expect, because the world has changed on you, that you expect now McDonald's or Burger King to pay you $20 an hour to flip burgers. By the way, how do I say this? Some of these companies recognize our educational standards are so low, they don't even put numbers on the cash register anymore. They just put pictures. Have you noticed that? When you work at these places, if it's a burger, you just push the button for the burger. That's not a compliment. It's not a compliment. It's suggesting that our educational levels, our educational attainment is in the toilet. So you can't expect these companies that are in the fast food, low cost, high volume business to maintain your quality of life. You've got to attain a better quality of life and use those businesses as stepping stones. I'm getting off of my topic. So let's look at UPS, United Parcel Service. That was started by a guy named Jim Casey with $100 and a bicycle. Coca-Cola. By the way, UPS and Coca-Cola are both sponsors of Operation Hope. So I thank them very much for that support, taking that money that they give me, and I use it to empower the poor and the underserved. Coca-Cola started with a pharmacist during the Civil War, after the Civil War, and he sold it for $500. I may unpack that story at some point, but it was a Caucasian gentleman. Him and his son started this business, and he had an addiction to his own product. This is before Coca-Cola became before what it is today. It was back then a toxin for people who were in pain. And he sold it, financial illiteracy, wouldn't take stock, sold the company for $500, and he and his son were dead within 18 months. And of course, the company is a worldwide phenomenon today, and is actually trying to reclaim all the water that they use by 2020, which I think is very admirable. My point is that wealth comes from poor people. All wealth comes from basically immigrants who came to this country with nothing, went to the equivalent of Ellis Island, and said, "I have a dream." Came from Poland or Israel or Germany or Africa. Yes, even a lot of brothers came from the Caribbean with nothing and built something from nothing, from scratch. Every big business was once a small one. Operation Hope was me in a dream in 1992 after the Rodney King riots. And now we have 250 employees, a $20 million budget, and have a global footprint. So I'm going to answer some questions, but I want you to really start thinking about, and think about your week, by the way. Think about, where do jobs come from, by the way. Here's what we tell our kids. Go to school K through 12, graduate, great. Go to college, that you should. Get a college degree, yes. Go get a bunch of student loan debt, not if you can avoid it. And go work for a big company or government, neither of which are hiring. That's not where jobs come from. Jobs come from startups, shoot-ups, entrepreneurs, as I said, startup businesses in small businesses in the years 3 through year 7. That's where all jobs come from. And half of our jobs in America are 100 employees or less. Half. So you think about your week, ladies. You go to a nail salon. Is that right? How many people working there? 4 or 5? Brothers, you go get a haircut. All right? How many people working there? 4 or 5? You go to a dentist, I hope. How many people are working there? 4 or 5? Right? It's all around you. You know, we're looking for love in all the wrong places. America's beauty, its magic, is small business owners and entrepreneurs. Everything came from entrepreneurship. Almost literally everything. You name the product, you name the thing that you love, and some entrepreneur created it. I was at Emory University, and the kids are like, we hate capitalism, down with capitalism. I'm like, okay, how'd you get here? Your parents sent you tuition, right? They paid tuition, and your parents probably work someplace, right? So they're in capitalism, paying your tuition so you can go to school. And by the way, where did Emory come from? It came from Coca-Cola putting $1 million up 100 years ago to move the campus to Atlanta. Even if you want to distribute money like a socialist, you've got to first collect money like a capitalist. And what I want, and so as the Bible says, money's not bad. The love of money is bad. And we've got these bad capitalists who are using the other forms of building of wealth creation to destroy a system and destroy your mind and destroy your aspirations and make you think that all wealth is evil, so you don't want to touch it. No, you don't want to, as my friend Quincy Jones would say, you don't want to be a broke prophet. You want to have some wealth so you can pass it on. You want to do a job or create a job so your kids know what to model. Watch how you live your life. It may be the only Bible anybody else reads. And no the illegal path is not sustainable. There are no retired drug dealers. Beyond the fact that it's immoral and unethical, and yes, I said it. If you're a drug dealer, it is illegal, it is immoral. If you're selling death to your own community, that is not good. You and God are not going to have a nice conversation. You can rationalize that all you want about it's the man and it's the way you roll, but you're not going to have a good conversation with God. You're just not. Now, one thing I will give you, if you're a drug dealer, you are not dumb. You are brilliant. If you're a successful drug dealer, a bit of an oxymoron, you understand import, export, finance, marketing, wholesale, retail, customer service, security, territory, logistics. So you're not talking about a dumb person. You're talking about a misdirected person with bad role models, a bad environment. You hang around, it's not their fault, but it's their responsibility to change. It's all of our responsibility to change our lives and our communities. But so you have these brilliant young kids who have gone to drug dealing because their role models and environment are crappy. And what would they be if they were in the right soil? They'd be entrepreneurs. They might even be Steve Jobs. So this is the first part of this series. I just wanted to drop the mic on the 4 parts of wealth, where it comes from. The last part comes from poor people. Goldman Sachs, with a guy named Goldman and a guy named Sachs with a briefcase going door to door 100 years ago. You name the company down here, and you challenge me, and I'll tell you where it came from. It's some poor immigrant. Jet Magazine, Black Enterprise Magazine, Essence Magazine, if you like those magazines, all came from young, striving black entrepreneurs with nothing. Started with nothing and built it into something. Jet Magazine started with $500. Okay, I'm at 13 minutes. This is a long one. I'm going to stop. I see some comments. I love these live feeds. LaShawn, Ebony, yes, misdirected indeed. Tracy, exactly. Mark Love, good morning from Chicago. Rakita, this is good stuff. Triplet, what is the best way to provide jobs when you are starting out? To provide jobs or to get a job? I mean, I don't know really the specifics of that question. I'm not what you meant by it, but I'll say this. If you can't get a job, create a job. That's your 9 to 5, finance your 5 to 9. You can sell Avon part-time. There's a lot of things you can do part-time. You can become a mobile notary. I know a guy in my book I mentioned in my book has a mobile notary business. He started with a $39 notary stamp and is making $17,000 a month. It's like mobile notary. Nothing rocket science about that. Just hustle. Worked at McDonald's as a teen. Andre said, "Great to hear, to have you to have had my own money as a teen." Yeah, building your own income as a teen builds self-esteem and confidence. You just don't need to work there all your life. Claudia responds, Jason, do you think anyone and everyone has ability to be an entrepreneur? Yes. You may not be an entrepreneur, but you can have an entrepreneurial mindset. If you're running a household, I guarantee you've got too much month at the end of your money. So you got to be entrepreneurial. What bills to pay, when to pay it, how to. You got to be creative. An entrepreneurial mindset is really around it, through it, gonna get to it, over it, around it. I'm never going to be stopped. I'm never going to give up. I'm going to be creative. I'm going to be innovative. It's not about being an entrepreneur in business per se, but you got to have an entrepreneurial mindset. It's a glass half full, not half empty. And what I'm trying to get us out of this is this half empty mindset. I'm going to do a video today or tomorrow on. It's really a mind blower about what all wealthy people have in common. Okay, so I'm out. I'll try to respond to the rest of these afterwards because I'm at 15 minutes. Peace and light.